Farm Bill. First of all, let me just recap here. This is not called the Farm Bill. It's called the Food Conservation and Energy Act for a good reason, because 67% of all the new money in this bill goes to nutrition, to help low-income Americans, to help our kids in school get a better diet and to get fresh fruits and vegetables. We also lifted the child care cap that's been there for all this time. Right now it's $175 a month. It's been that way since 1993. 1993, the average cost now is $631 a month. We have lifted the cap on child care deductibility for people of low income who need to get on food stamps. Let me just read this quote from Second Harvest. It's here. Vicky Escara, President of America's Second Harvest. On behalf of our nation's food banks, I urge senators to vote in favor of this hunger-fighting farm bill. Millions of low-income Americans are on the brink of catastrophe, facing some of the most difficult economic times they've had to endure in years. I urge senators to support this vitally important and necessary legislation. On specialty crops, Mr. President, we have done more in specialty crops than any farm bill before, and we put a new title in this bill, almost $3 billion going to fruits and vegetables, horticulture, all the things that, again, lend itself to a healthier diet and a healthier America. There's a quote also from the organization supporting specialty crops. It says, this farm bill represents a sea change in U.S. agricultural policy, an historic investment in the future of the fruit and vegetable producers across this country. We've taken a bold step to expand the fresh fruit and vegetable snack program to all 50 states, which makes certain this farm bill doesn't just help farmers, but helps school children have greater access to fruits and vegetables. This is truly a win-win for both agriculture and the public. Mr. President, livestock. We did things for our livestock producers in having better protection for them when they make their contracts. I want to publicly thank my colleague from Iowa, Senator Grassley, for making sure that we had those provisions in there. Country of origin labeling now will go into effect this fall, so we'll know where our meat products come from. And finally, we'll have the interstate shipment of state-inspected meat finally after all these years. Lastly, Mr. President, on conservation. We've done more for conservation in this bill than any farm bill ever passed. Almost 41%, close to one-half of all of the money that goes to what we call producers, is in the form of conservation to protect our soil, our wildlife habitats, and our clean water. And lastly, I had this picture up yesterday. I'd show it again. This is the countryside that we want, where farmers can plant and grow their crops, but they can do it in an environmentally sound way, with clean water and clean streams, with buffer strips, with wildlife habitat all across this country. And that's what is so good about this bill, because we really have moved a lot towards conservation. Mr. President, this is a bipartisan bill. In fact, I just got a note this morning that our former Secretary of Agriculture, former Secretary Mike Johans, has now said that he would vote for the bill. He would support it. Mr. President, in all my years here, this is my 7th farm bill in 30-some years. I have never seen so many groups come together to support a farm bill. Over 500 groups, farm groups, conservation groups, our hunters and fishermen, our energy groups for renewable energy, anti-hunger groups, religious groups. I've never seen such a broad coalition of over 500 groups in support of this bill. And now we got the former Secretary of Agriculture says he would support. All these groups support the farm bill, but the President says he wants to veto it. So evidently he's right and everybody else is wrong. Well, I beg to differ. This is a great bipartisan bill. You know, we keep hearing from people of this country, why can't you people work together, quit bickering, get things done? Well, we did that here. We worked together in a year and a half to produce this great product. And Mr. President, I want to especially thank my ranking member, Senator Chambliss, for all of his great work.
Senator will come to order. Senator from Iowa.
I just want to publicly thank Senator Chambliss for all of his great work. He reminds me, Senator Chambliss reminds me a little bit of old Senator Sam Ervin, who used to say, I'm just a poor little old country lawyer from the rural South. Well, he may say that, but I can tell you that he is one smart, intelligent, good negotiator. I can tell you he brought this farm bill forward when he was chairman. I couldn't ask for a better partner and working relationship in getting this bill through, and I can honestly say, without any fear of contradiction, had it not been for Senator Chambliss and all his hard work, we would not have gotten the 79 votes we got for this bill in December. And the fact that I think we're going to have an overwhelming vote here today, again, is a tribute to Senator Chambliss's leadership and hard work on behalf of all of agriculture. The only thing I'd say about Senator Chambliss, he's a proud conservative. The only thing he's liberal about is giving out those Georgia peanuts. And I just want you to know I really appreciate all those peanuts that you give out. Lastly, Mr. President, let me thank all of the members of our committee, but let me in particular thank the members of our conference committee. I mentioned Senator Grassley, who worked so hard on the Finance Committee, Senator Baucus, who, as chairman, got the money for us. I wanted to especially thank Senator Conrad, our budget chairman, for his expertise, his knowledge, his diligence. I'm telling you, Senator Conrad was there for every meeting. He hung in there on this farm bill from the beginning to the end. We could not have gotten where we are without the help, the support, the knowledge, the expertise of Senator Conrad. I just want to say again that the farmers and ranchers of North Dakota have no better fighter for them, no stronger advocate than they have in Senator Conrad. I can tell you that nothing escapes his attention, and when it comes to fighting for the farmers and ranchers of North Dakota, Kent Conrad is always in the lead. And I just want to publicly thank him and his staff for all the help on this bill. Senator Leahy, the former chairman, who also fights for our Vermont farmers, especially dairy. He had a great seat at this table. He made sure that we took care of our dairy farmers and nutrition. There's no stronger fighter for our dairy farmers and nutrition than Senator Leahy. Senator Lincoln, who chairs our subcommittee on production, income protection, and price support, a strong advocate for Arkansas rice and grain and oilseed farmers, and also might say Senator Lincoln, such a strong fighter for our rural residents, people who live in small towns and communities. Senator Stabenow, another conferee, I'm now going to refer to her as the Senator of Specialty Crops, because it was Senator Stabenow's strong advocacy that led to the first ever inclusion of a specific title for specialty crops in this bill and nearly doubled the support for it. And lastly, let me reach across the chamber and thank Congressman Peterson from Minnesota. We've been working together on this over a year, Sundays and Saturdays and weekends and nights and on the phone, and also Congressman Bob Goodlatte. What a great companion he has been to fight for conservation and rural development, working hard to bring forth this bill. So again, they say, Mr. President, the art of good legislation is cooperation and compromise. We had good cooperation between parties, between the House and the Senate, and we have a farm bill we can all be proud of.
Time has expired.
President.
Senator from Missouri.
Mr. President.
Senator from Iowa.